The Nigerian Tribune reported today that the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, has finally responded after a factional leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, Simon Ekpa, allegedly said there will be a 2-week sit at home in Lagos. Really, 2 weeks? Can you imagine? The Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò said the Finnish-based ethnic propagandist Simon Ekpa should desist from repeating the mistake of the 1970s and drop the move to hold the seat at home in Lagos because it is uncalled for and counterproductive. Further speaking, Gani said the Yoruba people in the southwest are not part of the Biafra Republic, so it is preposterous for outsiders to dictate or impose their agenda on our people. It is also prosperous for them to impose it on the people of other regions whom they cohabit with as residents. Again, Gani Adams said, personally, I can't, for instance, go to the southeast now and say I want to decide for the people of that region. We advise him, Ekpa, to drop that idea. Lastly, the Yoruba leader warned, saying Simon Ekpa should be very careful because any plans to bring their agenda to Yoruba land will be resisted at all costs. The Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, the warlord, that is how it's being described. Well, I think the statement made by Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is a good one, but it has to be said. The warning has to be issued. But to me, the guy is just joking. No, it's just joking. No, he's just joking. Now plague day, so nobody should just take him serious. He's talking trash. So what Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò has said is what is expected of him to have said. But if really he meant what he said, I mean, Samuel Ekpa, that he wants to come now. No, what are we talking about? The same thing we are talking about. That nobody's saying Lagos is no man land. Some politicians are just using it to deceive the gullibles. It is not possible for anybody to come from anywhere to say, oh, this particular part of the south or the southeast, it belongs to some people. No, there is that demarcation. We can coexist, we can do everything together, but for someone to say, oh yes, Lagos is no man land and all of that, and the person that first said it, said it with a very fine context, not saying that oh, some people are coming to take it, and I just believe that those who are even championing that sentence are just they are just cowards. It does not make sense. Nobody's taking anything from anybody, and the politicians are just using it as a means of getting what they want, and people are falling for that. But as for Ekpa, as far as he's concerned, that's his own, that statement and a play day. We are talking about it, that is happening, what is happening in the southeast that has not yielded positive result. Let there be what there are many ways to kill a rat without shedding his blood. Diverse another means, that means you are taking is not giving any fruitfulness. Where IRA is very correct, warning those ethnic irredentists and bigot to stay clear of the southwest. Now from clap dance they entered, let them go and enjoy their seat at home in the east. Simon Ekpa can't dictate to Igbo people in their region and never outside southeast region. He is the one causing problem for other Igbos that are doing their business quietly and should not allow himself or his selfish interest to affect his people. How can you stay in Finland and be commanding other regions to be killing themselves in the name of liberation? Please think twice, because other regions are not stupid. Can you try that in the northern region? Simon Ekpa should order his Igbo men and women in Yoruba land to go home and observe the sit at home instead of declaring it at home in Yoruba land. It's not, so it don't make sense, Jerry. Well, this Simon Ekpa must be high on something. Democracy is very much obviously truly purely a single game of number. Any riots or demonstrations will always lead to non-democratic process. It will fail seriously. Simon Ekpa has spoken. Lagos may embark sit at home for 2 weeks. Okay now. This type of propaganda are the ones that Chukwu Merije made during Biafra War in 1967 that destroy more Igbo soldiers or along Benin or a road in Imo State. Is it Imo State or what? As Biafran Information Minister Then he announced that Biafran has already captured Lagos. That information gives Biafra soldiers assurance to start moving to Lagos through Ore, without knowing that Nigerian soldiers are already waiting at Ore Bridge. On hearing that Biafran soldiers are on their way, look at this one talking rubbish. Can you stand, Simon Ekpa, that you open your mouth to speak Fulani, whatever? Just say wait, you will see it happening in your very eye. You must be some, you that you are saying it, you must be, you must be unreasonable person. Go and do it in the southeast now. So why should you bring it to this thing? No, you should have said, I think Ekpa should have said, Samuel Ekpa should have said that they should be sit at home all over the world, because he wants to achieve what he wants to achieve, Abby. My question to Ekpa, is that the way to go for what one needs or believe? Yeah, it is true that someone or some people in Nigeria have sworn that their head and their generations, that as long as they are in this planet, they will be working against evils, even though they don't even know that they don't know that that has even been the has been down and downfall and suffering of Nigerians, because God flown against such conspiracy against any people. So better go for it in a better and civilized way. EPA cannot and will never talk or sit at home in Lagos. He doesn't have that moral right. The problem of Southeast is that we don't have governors. We only have individuals who are there to further their nest. If not, how can a fugitive in another country be dishing out orders and gullible idiots will try to enforce it? If the so-called five governors can unite as a team and force these idiots that enforce it to go underground, they are not united. Please say it loud. This boy called Ekpa is overstepping his boundary and creating more enmity for the Igbo race, because we in Lagos, while sitting in his comfort zone, to give his useless order that cannot hold water. So who is going to enforce it? So who are the people that will enforce it? If you come to Lagos, will enforce it? We shall see.